Unlike the other main cast of the Kelvin timeline Star Trek movies, Karl Urban is no stranger to the convention circuit. On the weekend of August 6th, he attended Star Trek Las Vegas of 2017. While there, he dropped some comments I'm going to further explore and put into their proper context. Namely, about the future of the Kelvin iteration of the Star Trek franchise, and his possible involvement in the upcoming Judge Dredd TV series, which is currently in the early stages of development. We have earlier covered how, despite a favorable fan reception, I certainly love it, Star Trek Beyond lost the studio a crap ton of money. Based on the comments to earlier Midnight's Edge Star Trek videos, however, it would appear that some of you seem to be of the impression that worldwide gross minus production cost equals profit. To you I say, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but this is not the case. In the best of territories around the world, the studio gets about half the gross. In the worst, they might have to settle for a quarter or less due to local legislation and partnering companies demanding their cut, in addition to the exhibitors also wanting in on the action. But not only is the income column in reality smaller than the impression you might get from reading Box Office Mojo, the cost that needs to be recouped is much higher than the production cost alone, due to marketing and the cost of a theatrical release. Long story short, Star Trek Beyond lost Paramount and its investors money, and lots of it. Even so, Star Trek Beyond was still Paramount's highest grossing movie of 2016, which says something about what an utterly dreadful place they are in financially. And it's not getting any better, not with both Baywatch, Ghost in the Shell and Transformers underperforming in a very big way this year. Things are in fact so bad that an important Chinese backer of Paramount held back the most recent installment of their funding deal, as the partnership with Paramount so far has incurred them, quote, not trivial, but huge losses. In our earlier Star Trek Discovery videos, we at Midnight's Edge have covered how another Kelvin timeline Star Trek movie looks unlikely, as between the contractually rising cast costs and the studio's immense debt, Paramount simply can't afford it. It is not impossible, of course. If new Paramount CEO Jim Giannopoulos should decide that Star Trek is where it's at, there will be another, although he would have a very hard time scraping together the funds necessary to make it happen. With all of that firmly in mind, let's see what Karl Urban had to say on the matter at Star Trek Las Vegas. Trek Movie were in the audience and reported that Urban said, "The ball is in Paramount's court. There is a new head of Paramount Studios, Jim Giannopoulos, a great guy, and they are just in the process of looking at their slate at what is coming up, so fingers crossed we get to make another one." Essentially, Urban echoed similar statements from Zachary Quinto and Chris Pine that they didn't know if or when there would be another. Unlike the two of them, however, Urban went a little bit longer in suggesting there might not be another at all. At this point, the powers that be at Paramount probably don't even know themselves if they will pursue another Kelvin Star Trek movie, and that alone is not a great sign. So that they went out and announced Star Trek 4 just prior to Beyond opening last year does not mean the movie actually will end up getting made in the end. But while things are looking pretty bleak for the Kelvin iteration of Star Trek at the moment, things are looking up for another genre property Karl Urban has ties to. Karl Urban was great as Dr. McCoy. Even those critical of the Kelvin timeline movies will admit that, and his portrayal allegedly moved Leonard Nimoy to tears. But the role he truly personified, the role he nailed with the same level of perfection Hugh Jackman did Wolverine or Robert Downey Jr. did Iron Man, is that of old Stony Face himself, Judge Dredd. While Bomb Factory Lionsgate Films' inept marketing department saw to it that Dredd flopped upon release in 2012, the movie garnered a cult following screaming for more, a following which includes Karl Urban himself. Ever since 2000 AD, corporate owner Rebellion announced they were working on a high-end Judge Dredd TV series, the two biggest questions have been if it will be a continuation, soft reboot or total reboot, and if Karl Urban would reprise his role as Dredd. For reasons I've gone over in the Dredd TV series video, I was always of the opinion that Urban reprising his role on TV was certainly within the realm of possibility. That might have been an understatement though, because at Star Trek Las Vegas, Urban talked about returning to the world of Dredd. I am in discussions with them about that. I told them that if they write the material and give Dredd something to do and give him a function, I will be there. I would love to. Let's look at what Urban actually says here. He didn't hedge with scheduling, he didn't use any other catchphrases which are code for money, which does suggest that in these areas an agreement can be reached. His focus is on the writing and on Dredd's function in the story, and if these are up to par, he will be there, no ifs or buts. And then he added that he'd love to be there, just for good measure. Folks, I'm not going to pop the champagne just yet, not until he is formally announced. But now is the time to get those champagne glasses ready, because that is one star eager to return to his favorite role. Unless the makers of the upcoming Judge Dredd series mess it up, Karl Urban now looks very likely to return to what many considers his greatest role. According to comicbookmovie.com, Netflix is rumored to be the home of the series, but a deal has not been completed. Other destinations for the show reportedly include Amazon and HBO. Dredd would be in good hands in all of those, but I would hope that either Netflix or HBO win out. Urban's comments made the rounds in the usual genre media, where it was met with excitement. Probably galvanized by this positive response, someone involved saw to it that IGN were presented with two pieces of concept art. Like the promotional art and synopsis, these indicate that the upcoming series at the very least will be a soft reboot, featuring visuals very much closer to those depicted in the original comic strip than those depicted in the 2012 movie. More interesting though is the title of these pieces of concept art, which are no doubt intended to make us fans speculate. So let's do that. The first image, titled Democracy March, implies the democracy storyline. In the comic strip, this storyline spans years and includes some of the finest Judge Dredd stories ever told, such as the Democracy March, the Referendum, and America. The other image, Low Life, is more vague, but to me it suggests the Wally Squad, the special deep undercover unit. I so hope that it refers to the Pit, because if they base the series around the Pit and the extended democracy storyline, like I earlier expressed my hope they would, it will be very hard for them to go wrong. These storylines are all ensemble storylines, where Dredd himself is not always the point of view character, and the best of the Judge Dredd stories are in my opinion the ones where he is seen through the eyes of others. Since the upcoming series will follow a team of judges, this could be the angle they take. Have other judges be the point of view character, like Cadet Anderson was in Dredd. While Urban's future as Dr. McCoy is up in the air, here's to hoping he will be back patrolling the streets of Megacity 1 before long. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments.
If you like this video, then please hit that subscribe button. Due to recent changes made by YouTube, we also encourage all of our subscribers, both new and old, to please hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button as well, so you will be notified when new videos are uploaded. Be sure to check back for news and analysis of the happenings and corporate politics behind the scenes of your favorite genre movies, as well as explorations of your favorite characters and their backgrounds and context here at Midnight's Edge.